Maya says that Tammy looks stunningly beautiful in white. She's in white again. She also says we should make longer Q&A videos. We typically try to make 10 to 15 minutes long. And that's a good size for most people, otherwise people get bored is the answer. But anyway, okay. You want to help me sell my dogs? No, we're not selling the dogs. We're not busy enough with our own dogs, sorry, but no, we don't do that. And I mean, the only time we ever do this, by the way, and it's only occasional, is if somebody has bred to one of our dogs, then sometimes we help people in those situations.
Well, we don't sell them for them.
No.
Give them direction where to go.
Exactly.
We don't have time to sell somebody else's dog. This is what you got into the business for, was to raise Frenchies and sell them. So, you know, do it yourself.
Okay, when breeding, do you breed back to back, heats on females, or skip a heat? How many litters do you have before spaying and retiring her? Have you ever heard of using B-Strong supplement to fix silent heats in females? So I've got a video that says something like unethical breeding of French bulldogs, talks about this in detail in terms of when you can breed again. So the answer is we breed back to back sometimes. It just depends on how the last litter was, but that whole video explains that. So how many litters do you have before spaying or retiring? That's also discussed in that video, but basically it's all based on how the previous whelp was, how well it went, as whether we go again or we wait. I don't know about B-Strong. I have heard of it, but I've never used it. Hello, I'm wondering, this is Shingon Bulldogs. I'm wondering why the numbers have changed at ovulation with the fine count. All the videos you stated it's 5 is ovulation. But in this one, ovulation occurs around 7 the fine count. That's because I've amended things after I've been using this thing for the last few years. And so I've got more depth of using it and interpreting numbers. And so with a lot more information, I can tell you that now I feel as though basically what you look for is a sharp increase in numbers from one day to the next signifies ovulation, breed 2 days later. And typically I see that around a 7, so that's why I say 7. Samantha, is breeding not kind of cruel? Are the dogs constantly getting pregnant? Do you guys make the dogs have intercourse with their own siblings? Well, it's
goodness sakes.
Well, first off, is our dogs don't have it. They don't have intercourse. We do AIs. They don't actually mate themselves. We take control of the process for various reasons that I'm not going to go into any great depth here. We never breed siblings to siblings. We don't breed siblings to parents or grandparents. We don't line breed. We don't inbreed, because it does cause problems. So you need to, if you're going to do that, people in the showroom do it. If you're going to do that, you need to be aware of what your risks are and why you may or may not want to do that.
And it's definitely not cruel letting them have babies.
And I can tell you this, just like all mammals, our mums love having babies. This is not like they have babies and they don't want anything to do with them. It's exactly the opposite. They want to be in there with their babies. With our whelping system, we have to force them to go outside and pee and poop because they just don't want to be away from their babies. The moment you open the door up from outside to go inside, they just barrel right in there to be with their babies. They have strong bonds with their babies. They like it. I mean, I know some of you don't believe that, but it's absolutely true. And paramount to this whole thing is the well-being of our doggies. They're part of our family. We care about them, and we care about our customers, by the way, too, who breed dogs, not just the ones who get our dogs, but you people who are looking right now. We care about you guys. Okay, next one. Oh, we're not far into this. Okay, now I've lost mine. Here we go. Oh, Hector Ortiz, I am sorry you guys are going through this. Hope to talk about the scam on somebody ripping Instagram. Yes.
Instagram, they need to start taking care of people that are on there.
Yeah, they say, I hope they find the person or persons they go to jail for being scumbags. They won't find them. No. They're probably somewhere else in the world is the answer.
Biggie Terry is his name.
Yeah, whoever he is.
Remember, it's not Love My Pups Officials.
With an S.
Plural. Our site is Love My Pups Official.
Without an S.
The S.
Singular, yes.
And his name is underneath there is Biggie Terry. They're using our emblem. They're using
everything they can get their hands on.
Videos, other breeders' dogs.
They got pictures of Chanel on there when she's 12 years old.
Yeah.
She's almost 30 now.
Good lands.
Yeah, it's just awful. Anyway, Ernesto Patron, my female, took 3 sacks. So I think what we're talking about, he did an ultrasound, he found 3 sacks there, and now you've got no puppies. So basically, getting a second opinion and ultrasound somewhere else to be on the safe side. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you know, it happens, especially in young dogs. I mean, you know, there can be all kinds of reasons. There's a couple of videos that I did on this. Well, that's the video that you looked at. So the explanation as to what may have happened is in those videos. So I received, this is Tina Oliver, so I received a call on a puppy I'm getting, and she has to get surgery today. She has a hernia. Will she ever be able to have puppies? Should I still invest in this puppy? Is this puppy worth it? I'm already so invested. I'm so invested and attached to this particular puppy. I didn't want to breed her until she's 3 years. Okay, so first off, typically you don't. Tammy's asking how old a puppy is, because typically puppies leave when they're 9-10 weeks old.
10 weeks, yeah.
You would not do surgery on a puppy on 9 or 10 weeks. We wouldn't. We'd wait till they're 6 months old. Depends on what kind of hernia it is.
Yeah, if it's a little bitty pea size, don't worry about it on your females.
If it's an umbilical hernia,
yeah,
it's not really an issue.
If it's pea size, you can get that. Sometimes it takes care of itself, but sometimes you can get it fixed when she goes has a C-section. Then you don't, have to go through 2 different kinds of surgeries. But if it's an inguinal hernia, it's a different story. You can't use it for.
So I'm going to do a whole video on inguinal and umbilical hernias. I'll probably do that tomorrow. Certainly by this weekend, I'll put a video up that talks about this in some detail, because it does affect quite a few people. We've experienced it with dogs that we've received from other people. So it is something that you need to be aware of, and you need to know how to handle it.
Now, if the little umbilical hernia is the size of a walnut, then you want to get that fixed pretty quick.
Yeah, but I'll go into all some detail. Okay, so Hi says, video's been a great help. Learn about breeding. Thanks so much. Blah blah blah. Wondering the first day for a female to accept the male is 1 ovulation day or 2 days later. Is the first day when the female accepts the male also the best day for mating by progesterone test? Well, typically the problem here is if you just rely on the behavior of the dog, it varies by dog, and it also varies to a certain extent by the male about how insistent he is. So if you're going to just simply do this by the way the dogs are behaving, then take into account the behavior of the dog, the number of days it's been in heat, the blood color of the discharge, and breed at least twice. Our recommendation: do a progesterone test starting about day 6 and expect to breed around day 11 through 13. And on an IDEX machine, you're going to breed on a 15 if it's a vaginal, and 25 to 30 if it's on a surgical or a TCI. But the point here is the best way to do this is a progesterone test. If you're not going to do a progesterone test, do multiple AI spaced 2 days apart, at least 2, maybe 3 of those, to get good effect. Zachary Frazier. One of my girls currently doesn't look like she's in heat, but about a week ago, to 5 days, she had a golf ball looking when it's inflated on the inside. Now she's still no blood, but acting more lovey. Test now away from love. What's going on is she has a vaginal prolapse. She's got the beginnings of a vaginal prolapse. And what you'll see is, if you look in from behind, her vagina will look like there's something that's about the size of a tangerine that's stuck in there, and you'll see part of that surface looking at you. And that is a vaginal prolapse. Nothing to get particularly scared about, but something you are going to have to pay attention to, because if it gets particularly bad, then you'll have to go to a vet. It can fall out. This is the problem. Or other dogs can try to kind of like chewing on it. So I've got a video on vaginal prolapse. Go look at that. It talks about what you can do yourself and what you should expect to do if it gets too bad. You can still AI the dog with a vaginal prolapse. It doesn't stop you from breeding the dog, but you just want to be aware of what the problems are so that you can do the necessary steps. And if you go look on my video, put the word prolapse in my site, you'll see a video on that. think that gets us to 10 minutes. So Tammy, say
goodbye.
Adios. Bye. Watching the video. I really appreciate people who subscribe to me. It helps me, encourage me to do more of these videos. But do remember, disclaimer here, I am not a vet. I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm purely a person who's been breeding dogs for the last couple of decades. Any information that you got from this video, use at your own risk. There's nothing implied here, and certainly this should not be used as a substitute for advice from your veterinarian or your medical professional. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more of them. Bye.